You're watching CoastLife, and this afternoon we want to introduce you to someone very special who works on a very special and important cause. That's why today we have Amy Wood with us today with the Raymond A. Wood Foundation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about the Raymond A. Wood Foundation. You're helping a lot of really vulnerable people in our area.
Sure. So the Raymond A. Wood Foundation is named for my son, Alex. He is a 8-year survivor of a craniopharyngioma brain tumor. So he was diagnosed at age 4. He's 12 now. And it was a sudden diagnosis. He was a neurotypical, healthy child. And on one Thursday morning, we woke up and noticed something was wrong with his left eye. And it was a straight, it just was crossing a little bit. So I thought, well, maybe he has an eye problem, called the eye doctor. But as the day progressed, he started to not be able to walk steady, and we knew something was up. So that evening, we ended up in Johns Hopkins ER, where they did an MRI and told us he had a mass in the middle of his brain. And it was in such a emergency situation at that time that they had to do emergency surgery. And literally, our lives changed within those 24 hours. Alex, when he came out of surgery, he started to have some severe issues that kept him in the hospital for months. And we learned a lot of new terminology and realized that we were going to be facing lifelong consequences of this tumor.
Yeah, I think it is something that you hear a lot from parents who and families who go through something like this with rare medical diagnoses, that suddenly you almost become an expert in that diagnosis for your kid, for your family member. And the foundation helps both kids and adults, correct?
Yes. So it really started because Alex suffered from a condition called diabetes insipidus. And not like typical diabetes that we hear about. It's actually the fact that his brain no longer makes the hormone that controls our body fluid balance. And because of that, he can swing into very high or very low blood sodium. And that condition can be fatal. So it had to be carefully managed. So in the hospital, when they explained this to us, we're like, oh, okay, so we tested at home, we tested his blood at home, and they said, no, you can't do that. So we had literally to go to the labs every day. He was a 4-year-old, so it was very challenging, and then we'd wait for results of sodium, which wasn't ideal, and manage it. And so we kind of, you have to find humor in this. We kind of laughed because we had frequent flyer miles on the med flights from Tidal Health to Hopkins because he had to constantly be admitted because of this issue. So we sought to find a solution and found that there was a medical device used in hospitals that could test full blood panels within a short 3 minutes on a finger stick. Well, that was huge. So we worked with the support of our community to procure that device, and it was life-changing for us. So we started the Raymond A. Wood Foundation just on the sole mission to provide those devices to other families who had kids with the same tumor and the same resulting medical condition. And quickly it snowballed into becoming the patient advocacy organization for these patients and survivors of these tumors.
Wow. That's incredible that you could take something tragic that happened to your family, but now you're helping so many other families, and you're continuing to do that, and you're raising money right now in a pretty cool way I think people will be interested in. Can you tell us about how people can even win a Bronco?
Yes, from our friends in Preston.
Yes, so we have had a really amazing partnership with Preston Automotive over the years, and also with the Hook Big Fish Classic tournament that takes place at Talbot Street at MR Ducks every year. So we've held raffles in the past of fun fishing gear, but decided to up the ante and talk to our friends at Preston. And so we procured a 2023 Ford Bronco. It's a super fun car, according to my son Alex. So he likes to ride in it. And we are raffling it off on July 30th at the tournament, which takes place that weekend. So we have a limited release of 1,000 tickets, so the odds are good. So we're really excited to do this year. It's our first time doing this.
That's great. What a fun event for a really important cause.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and every dollar we raise goes towards really advocating for research for these tumors. And the really interesting thing about working in brain research is so little is known about the brain. And so even though our tumors that we're working with are very rare, we are able to contribute to that greater ecosystem of brain research in obesity and psychosocial issues and just the overall area, because the hypothalamic region of the brain, which really controls all of the bodies, it's like the body's master control.
Yeah.
Wow. So if people can't maybe make it to this event, or maybe they want to help in other ways, learn more about Alex's story, what are some ways they can get in touch with you and support your cause?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course our website is rawoodfoundation.org. The raffle website is bfcclassic.org. So if you want to get in on the raffle and get a sweet new car to take to the beach, that's where you can get that. We are also on all social media. So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter and LinkedIn, all around Raymond A. Wood Foundation or R.A. Wood Found.
Perfect. Yeah. That's great. And I'm curious too, if you don't mind sharing, could you kind of just reiterate real quick for other parents the signs that they should be looking out for?
Yeah, so and it's interesting because there's always struggles to getting to diagnosis.
Yes.
When looking back on Alex's situation, we realized some of the things that were kind of leading to this diagnosis that were missed. But severe headaches, sort of vision issues, severe headaches, imbalances, unexplained weight gain or loss. But one of the things I will say to any parent is if you feel in your gut that something's up with your child, advocate for help. Sometimes, and it's really nothing towards our healthcare, nothing about our healthcare system, but sometimes these things sort of get dismissed. Like, oh, maybe it's a gluten or dairy intolerance or that kind of thing. But you know as a parent in your gut that something's up. And if you feel strongly that something's going on, keep pushing, because it's, even if you get dismissed, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's the best thing you can do, I think, for your kid is really advocate for them and keep looking for that doctor that's going to give you the right diagnosis, because sometimes it does take a second, third, fourth opinion to get to the right one.
Absolutely. Or even just get to that ER and get somebody's eyes on them quickly. The time to diagnosis is so critical, but in rare disease, that diagnostic odyssey of it getting missed over and over again is so common and unfortunate.
Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and your son's story. I'm hoping this helps a lot of parents. It also helps your foundation. I think a lot of people are going to be really interested in helping and supporting.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me here.
Of course. Thank you. All right, you right now, don't go anywhere. We have a lot more Coast Life